Welcome to On the Couch at Trinity P3, where we ask the questions and discuss the issues of the day and hopefully come up with some solutions. Today, I'm joined by Ros Allison, who is our programmatic and digital media expert here at Trinity P3. Welcome, Ros.
Thank you.
It's such a big issue, isn't it? Programmatic buying seems to be in the trade press all the time. I often find people really don't have a clear understanding of what it actually is. So how would you explain to an advertiser if they asked you to explain programmatic trading or buying?
Yeah. Well, all programmatic really means is using machines, so using software to trade media inventory. We talk about it as using software together with data for a more efficient and effective outcome for advertisers.
Yeah, so I mean, it all gets bundled up, doesn't it, with other terms like real-time bidding and demand-side platforms and trading desks and things like that. But do you think programmatic trading has become sort of all-encompassing, or is it still very specific like that?
Well, programmatic trading is a fairly broad umbrella term, and of course underneath that there are lots of different ways of transacting and a lot of different models and a very complex supply chain with lots of different acronyms and lots of moving parts and ever-evolving pieces. So RTB, or real-time bidding, was certainly a fundamental component to programmatic. But the industry has evolved considerably, and it's now far broader than just real-time bidding on display inventory on open ad exchanges, as it was, many years ago when it first launched.
So, do you think it's part of it's that complexity that's led to all the controversy? Because I don't think I can look at an industry journal or blog or whatever, and there won't be some sort of either advice or controversy about programmatic.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think the controversy is there because people have behaved badly.
Right.
It is complex. There's a lack of standards and measurement, and it's a very complex supply chain. And as I say, it moves very quickly. And all of those factors together have kind of enabled some poor practice and some bad behaviour.
And there's so much opportunity, isn't there? If you get it right, there's actually huge opportunity for advertisers to use it.
I mean, programmatic is utterly transformative for the media industry. It's transformative for advertisers. For the first time, we're able to really understand the value of an impression and what that impression is going to deliver to your campaign, not just how cheaply you can buy something, which has always been the tenet of media buying before programmatic, and before that ability to use data and transact on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the big things about digital media was the fact that you suddenly had this long tail, and without technology, without software to help you manage that, to do it the old-fashioned, traditional, manual way would have been incredibly difficult.
I mean, programmatic delivers incredible efficiency. It means you can buy across any website, and of course, increasingly into other media as well. So it gives you a huge kind of capability and efficiency that we've certainly never had before.
And yet, I still run into a lot of big advertiser organisations that say things like, "Oh no, we're not going into programmatic because it's not right for us." Is programmatic buying right for all advertisers?
Look, I think in the way that probably nothing's right for everyone, but programmatic, because all it means is buying advertising using software and data, it probably is right for most advertisers. It's more about the way that you use it, which is different for each advertiser and of course for each campaign and each objective.
Well, the irony of that particular example was that when we dug down into it, they were doing a huge amount of advertising on Facebook. And in actual fact, their media agency was using a programmatic trading desk to place that. So they were actually using programmatic trading. They just didn't want to admit it or didn't know that it existed.
Right.
So in that way, I guess it's become more pervasive, hasn't it?
Yes. And look, I think the definitions of programmatic are important for people to understand. And I think a fear of programmatic comes from really a lack of knowledge or a lack of understanding about what it is and what the potential is for you and for your campaigns.
So if, because a lot of people are questioning, a lot of advertisers are questioning their investment and the amount of money that's going through or being invested in programmatic. What would you say to someone that did have questions about it? What should they be either doing or asking of their agency?
Yeah, look at it. I mean, it is a very complex area, and it does change very quickly. So I think at the heart of it is that idea that you need to really try and understand what's happening, what your agency is doing on your behalf, try and understand the technologies and the principles and the way that your agency is recommending that you use programmatic. So I guess my advice would be that to embrace it and to really try and understand it and ask the right questions of your ad tech suppliers, of your agencies, and of the agency trading desk that you're working with, so that you can really try and understand it and understand the benefit and the potential for your campaigns.
Of course, they could phone you because that way they get independent advice. In fact, you've had a couple of projects in this area already, haven't you?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's because of the complexity and because there's a sense that that agencies and ad tech providers can be working towards their own goals rather than towards the advertiser goals, has raised an increasing number of questions in this area. So, but I think really understanding or trying to understand what it is that you're doing to start with is a really important basic for any kind of media or marketing, particularly one in such a fast-changing industry as this.
And what about the future? Because we're hearing in the US, for instance, television and the more traditional media are making themselves open, and I believe locally that's starting to happen as well. So where do you see the future for programmatic and the benefits for advertisers?
Programmatic will become, of course, the transaction mechanic for all media. It's basic efficiency, it's automation, but most importantly, it's using data to buy media better than we ever have done before. So it will be the path for all channels, it will be the path for all advertisers. Of course, within that, there are lots of business models that are evolving and need to evolve to stay relevant in that kind of future state for marketers as well as agencies, as well as the holding companies and agency trading desks, and ad tech providers, of course, as well, are all needing to evolve to stay relevant in that space. So there's probably a couple of really important areas around education, around understanding, to get up to speed with where the market's going, but really around collaboration, making sure that your organisation is geared to adapt to change, that you're working as effectively as you can be with your agency and your agency trading desk, and that you're really understanding your data and are in a good place to be really using your data to its maximum potential.
Yeah, there is so much opportunity. I'm just concerned that perhaps the technology is ahead of the marketplace and a lot of marketers are having to play catch up here.
Look, that's, the technology is certainly there. All the pieces are there. There's incredible potential. I think people really need to, of course, it's becoming mainstream and people need to really move forward with it, embrace it and learn about it as much as they possibly can.
Well, Ros, thanks for joining us on the couch and sharing your expert knowledge.
Thank you very much.
And Thanks for joining us on the couch. Stay tuned for future episodes and subscribe to the Trinity P3 YouTube channel where you can see more from On the Couch.